We got the tease of the Batman, or no, I'm sorry, the Flash, and it's just a tiny little teaser.
So the first twist here came from the fact that it was introduced by Ezra Miller saying that they were still making the movie and didn't have a trailer, and then they played the trailer.
Yeah, well, it was Ezra Miller from the past coming to the future and not having the correct information.
That's what it is. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this trailer and a lot to speculate about. And we'll likely be wrong about most of it, but it's still fun to look at what's going on there. A voiceover from Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne asking Barry why he wants to save that timeline when he can travel anywhere.
I'm really surprised at how many people didn't know that was Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I guess if you don't, it's maybe easy in a Flash movie to assume that a voiceover is just Barry's dad or something, but yeah, Michael Keaton does have a pretty recognizable voice.
Yeah.
So the shots we're looking at here, though, an interesting thing. So as they're getting out of the cab in front of Wayne Manor, so we saw two Barrys, what appears to be two Barrys in the trailer. That one shot from in the cave with Barry, and Supergirl. But when they're getting out of the cab, what's interesting is that the one Barry is all in yellow, like he's wearing a yellow hoodie, which could maybe suggest Reverse Flash.
Oh yeah.
And it's also interesting that as they're getting out of the car, they're getting out on opposite sides, so they're divided. They're on opposing sides of the screen. And someone pointed out the number on the top of the cab. So on the sign on the roof of the cab is the number 163, which is the issue of Flash that Barry and Reverse Flash met for the first time.
Oh, fuck.
So that could be, this could be symbolic with them being on opposing sides of this car as they exit it.
Yellow cab, yellow suit.
Yeah.
Issue number. I there is no way that's a fucking coincidence.
And then that shot of them in the Batcave, that the other Barry, with the slightly longer hair, he's the one that's wearing the bat suit with the Flash logo spray painted on it.
Right.
And we see that shot of him later on in the trailer shows him spray painting the Flash logo onto the boots and all that.
Yeah. They show off the new suit, and it is much different than the Snyder Cut suit, I want to say.
Yeah.
So if you didn't like the Snyder Cut suit, you hated that one. This one's still not like a tradish Flash suit. I don't see any yellow boots, and he's got like that kind of it used to be blue emanating off of it. Now it's that yellow spark emanating off of it. There's a nice little, I guess you could see more textured on this image right here. This is the image where he first steps out in front of his home. But you can
the New 52 suit a little bit.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it does look like. That's probably exactly where they got this inspiration. Because now that you mention it, that's exactly what the New 52 looks like, with the little kind of accents of yellow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also doesn't look homemade, like they did in the first time, and
yeah,
it has abs. Wow.
Like 3D.
3D
Grumps, I know you hated the Snyder Cut suit. What do you think on this one?
This is cool. It's better, a little more comic book looking, which I like. So.
Yeah, it's much different. So you're definitely gonna have an opinion one way or the other. I feel like he's presenting his new suit before Battle or something. He's never done Battle, but now he's doing Battle. Well, Joss, the Whedon version, didn't do Battle.
Yeah, he just ran and pushed people or something.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I like the Snyder Cut suit because I kind of like the look that he's putting it together, kind of like Anakin Skywalker with shitty C-3PO, the naked one. But like you said, I think this is I think comic book fans are gonna enjoy this one a bit more.
When does this movie come out?
2022, right?
Next year.
Next year.
Like early next year, or
I think it comes out before the Batman.
Batman's in March what 4th? So it's gonna be
Yeah,
pretty
March
early.
4th.
Oh no. So then after the Batman,
Yeah.
because this is still shooting,
Oh, okay.
and then it kind of ends with a little ominous, no look at Keaton in the suit, but little shots of the suit. There's also a shot where he's explaining that like he changed the future, changed the past, and then as he's saying that, you see a bat suit laying on the ground with a cowl and blood around it. I thought that was a Batfleck cowl, but people on the internets are saying that it's a Keaton cowl because in the back you can see the Keaton emblem and the Keaton return suit.
Is that from events that take place during this movie, or are we going to see, you know, maybe they'll show us pieces of some event that led to Bruce hanging it up or something, you know, like he got to that point where he was too old and
Yeah, maybe somebody
took a beating or something. And
maybe somebody died. Maybe he killed somebody because Keaton fucking kills. So
yeah,
maybe he killed one too many people. Maybe somebody killed. I don't know, man. I who knows if they give him a Robin? Who knows? You know.
yeah.
So yeah, all that speculation. I'm very, very interested about. Very excited. What's your excitement level on the Flash overall?
Just because of the amount of possibilities, I'm super interested in seeing this one.
Yeah. I think
we don't know, like, you know, we know that there's Keaton Batman, we know there's Affleck Batman, and the look of the cave has some people talking about maybe we'll see another Batman that we just don't know is coming. But I don't know about that one. You know, that might be crazy to hope, but
make sure you can piss in that suit. All right, and now we get to the main event, the main course, and that is the trailer for the Batman. And we'll just kind of go through that as the trailer plays out, some of the highlights. But you get a good look at Paul Dano as the Riddler. What's interesting about the trailer that this suggests that at some point in the movie, not necessarily at the beginning or maybe, but at some point that's not near the end, they capture him and he's basically playing with Batman's mind behind bars and almost like orchestrating all his shit. Half the movie's probably, in a jail cell, but nice little nod in the coffee shop with his the latte foam art. Very, very 2020s, I would say, with the latte foam art. You get a good shot of the new bat signal, which is probably the shittiest bat signal that they've ever made. It just a bunch of, it looks like his emblem, right? And then Gordon's looking at it, and then we got some good shots of him as Batman. Some very good shots looking like what he looks like in the suit. You kind of get a glimpse of how he fights, and he was, beating the shit out of dudes, and then you can kind of see that he's got tech when he's choking the dude, and he's like got that. It's almost like a cattle prod in his fucking gloves, right?
Yeah, that was really cool.
What I noticed on the second time watching it is that so while he's doing this, they're shooting like a high pitched noise in your ears while he's doing it. So maybe it's fucking with this guy's ears too. Like it's not just like it's not just a taser, but it's probably like an EMP in your fucking ear, which would kill you. A big talk of the trailer was him talking through the glass to the Riddler, who's in jail. So this is the where is she moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So similar, it feels like it's hard to do a Batman movie and not feel that there's little nods to previous Batman movies. Because there's like money shots. Like you want the cowl shot, you want the close up on the eyes, close up on the lips, and every Batman movie has had that because you want to show that shot. So it's got to kind of look. And then there was a lot of cool shots of Catwoman and Batman on the roof.
Tom King posted it because it looks just like one of Clay Mann's shots.
Yeah, the lighting too, the silhouette and the lighting.
And her look is so good, with the short hair. Like we see her with long hair at other at other scenes, so maybe that's she's in wigs or something, or it's a different time. But this really short-haired Selena is just looks so much from the comics.
Yeah, they're really doing a good. I mean, she's just insanely good looking. Like that's just an insanely good looking person. So
and those shots of the two of them together, they match perfectly together.
Like you guys were saying, the villains are really kind of making the movies now, and we got a lot more of a better look at Colin Farrell as the Penguin. He looks like a Tony Soprano more than he looks like a Penguin. Tony Soprano with a fucked up face. I'm not sure if you guys have read like the backstory or like any of the, but basically this is a Penguin who's still like moving up in the ranks in like the underground crime world, which makes me think that they're not giving him the traditional Penguin origin of he's just fucking rich from birth, right?
Yeah.
So this looks like it's a Penguin that kind of clawed his way up. So I mean, it's a different take, sure, why not?
It'll be cool to see what his part is, and it's also interesting to not see him as a round shaped, extremely short sort of a joke. But he's just this obviously out of shape, seemingly older crime boss. So that part's cool. Yeah, that make him sort of more easily taken seriously.
Yeah, and it seems like who knows what the scars are from, but at least in this movie, it seems like he's going to be getting his hands dirty, which I'm sure later on when he is the Penguin that most people know the comics, he doesn't get his hands dirty. He has people to do that for him. But this one is the version that has not climbed the ranks yet. So.
And the one part where we do see him come face to face with Batman after Batman has just been trashing all of his guys, Penguin doesn't seem intimidated by him.
No.
He I think he says like, he
take it
says
easy.
Whatever the line was. Yeah, he wasn't terrified or anything.
We got a better look at Andy Sarkis as he's taking a break from directing Venom and playing Alfred. What do you guys think of him as Alfred?
Well, the first thing you notice is that he's got, an injury above his eye. So something happens to Alfred in this movie.
Good
Hopefully
catch.
He doesn't get killed again.
Tired of that shit.
How many? Yeah, actually, now you think of it, how many different comic lines have done that? Because it's in the continuity now.
Killed Alfred.
I saw somebody post was like a collage of all the different on-screen Alfreds, including the 66. It's hard to argue that he might be the only character that I don't think anyone can really complain about that hasn't been cast almost perfect in every rendition.
Yeah, everyone's had a very strong actor playing him. And he really looks in this version like the Earth One.
Yeah.
Alfred, with the goatee, and he's obviously more of a hard ass than, like the 89 or something was.
Some more pics. So just for those of you who are not watching this on YouTube and listening, we're going through a little Rolodex of screenshots of the trailer. What do you guys think of the suit, the bat suit?
I think it's trash.
It's
I need to put it out on Wednesday night so that way it gets taken away on Thursday morning.
it's
100%. Yeah.
it's a lot. It's very Arkham Origins-esque, and he has Talon gauntlets, by the way. If you look, he has Talon gauntlets. So I like the suit. I don't know about the cowl. I think there's too much face showing in the cowl, but I like the suit itself. He has something tactical on his thigh, especially in that last shot. I'm kind of curious. I don't know if it's the grapnel gun or what it is, but that's really tactical too. The suit is. I like the suit, but the cowl, I think it just shows like the cheekbone area too much. It goes back too much. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely a little too form-fitting.
Wide, flat nose, and I don't know. The cowl is my least favorite part about this whole suit, but It's polarizing. Some people love it, some people don't like
Yeah.
it. It's
I think the more we see it, it's like you kind of just get used to it, and it's like, okay, this is the Batman suit for now, and just like just deal with it.
Yeah, I'm refusing to get used to it. I hear you, Gramps. I'm in agreement. I don't like the suit, and the cow is the least favorite of mine of the entire suit.
It's a huge head.
He does have a big fucking head, doesn't he? This guy.
That forehead is massive.
Does he have a big head or just a really small body? Because that's the thing. Is like,
I think he has a big fucking head. Now that you mention it,
all that hair.
I didn't really think about it, and this guy's got a monster fucking head. Holy shit! Never noticed it. Holy fuck!
That's what Bella said.
Now,
okay.
I have a theory about this movie because they're feeding us so much, showing Riddler and these. I don't think Riddler's the ultimate big bad antagonist in this movie. I think he's kind of like the red herring that there's going to be a twist,
Definitely.
all this.
They're
not showing us it all, and I don't want them to.
Someone
He alludes
mentioned
to it.
something good. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Wouldn't it be crazy if it was like Hush? I mean, a couple of people thought that would be a cool boomerang throw. I don't know. That's the only one I would believe.
I would be mad because Hush needs his own movie because that character is so involved and has such a history with Batman that that would really be. I mean, unless they like leave it to a little cliffhanger at the end. But in the first trailer they allude to the fact that Riddler is trying to get Batman to understand that there's something sinister and that he is completely involved with everything that he's trying to fight against. You're a part of this. He says that at the end of the first trailer, and I think that Gramps, you're pretty much right on the money. There's a much bigger conspiracy to this movie that Batman is going to slowly uncover, and we'll go through the pictures because it kind of shows that in this trailer a little bit more. I love this fucking shot. We're looking at the shot of when he's in some sort of like nightclub and he's going up against the Penguin, and the Penguin says, "Oh, take it easy, sweetheart."
Yeah.
I fucking love that. Like
he walked in on some John Wick shit instead of beating the shit out of everyone.
And he's still giving it back to him. Like he's still giving it back to Batman, which is nice. And then apparently this is a famous nightclub, I guess in LA or Vegas. That all red club where I got Dark Knight vibes where he goes up against Falcone.
Yeah. If you look at the muted color palette of the trailer, and then you look at shots from the animated series, they're using the same palette: orange, red, black. It's pretty cool actually. Like there's so little color in this film. And someone said it has heavy Seven vibes. So Seven's one of my favorite movies. So yeah, I'm definitely all in on that. So.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like some of the posters that we got, especially the recent ones, sort of feel like Long Halloween and Dark Victory covers. And with what we have seen from this, like, I think it's established that some of the people that whoever the killer is, whether it's actually Riddler doing it or there's someone else involved, it looks like it's people like the DA gets killed. I think that's who we saw in the first trailer with the bomb strapped to him. Was supposed to have been the actor who's playing the DA, and I believe the police commissioner dies in this one. It's not Jim Gordon is not the commissioner, and I believe the commissioner dies as well. So someone who's killing the sort of political figures of the city does sort of link up to Dark Victory.
This ain't Marvel shit, bro. This shit is crazy.
It's a definite vibe. They're trying to go for their own vibe, which is great because
this shit dark as hell. You don't take kids to see this shit. This shit's dark. Is this going to be rated R? Probably not.
Probably. I doubt it. I bet.
I think
They want to be though.
It's gonna get a PG-13, I'm sure.
Yeah, they want your kids to come with you, so they're not going to give it an R. I don't think.
Right.
But this doesn't feel like you take your kids to see like the '89 movie, you know, or Batman, but this is
Even '89. I shouldn't have watched that when I was the age I was. That was
I think the Flash movie is the one that they want you to take your kids to. This is the one kind of on the level of Joker.
Which it's the direction they should go with Batman. I think Batman at this point is just way more lucrative when he appeals to a more mature audience than kids. You know, Batman is different at this point in time.
a lot of talk about the part of the trailer where those automatic gunfire is catching him in that dark hallway, and he just keeps coming like it's not doing shit to him. There's that cool strobe effect.
I was watching trailer reactions on YouTube to this, and everyone lost their shit at this particular part. They just lost their shit. It was pretty cool.
It's fucking ridiculous.
They get more views if they have that type of reaction. Nobody's gonna watch their video if it's just a.
Well, bah humbug to you, bro.
This movie is going to be trash, and we all know it.
Oh my god, dude, you're such a wet blanket.
That'd be a downer.
Matt Reeves is.
I'm down for that Batmobile though.
I didn't like the Batmobile at first. After seeing it like this, it looks fucking dope. Muscle car status. They did a really good job of showcasing the car in this trailer, much more than the first one, I'd say.
Yeah, I love this one right from the start because I was pretty tired of the Batmobiles that were tanks in the movies. You know, we were just getting farther away. You know, to the point. So the Affleck one started to be a little bit more car shaped, but it was still really kind of tanky.
Yeah. And
we had gotten to the point where that was just accepted now. And the first shot that we saw of this car, I saw people complaining about it because it wasn't a tank. And that made me realize how accepted the tank version of the Batmobile was now. It was what, a lot of casual viewers thought the Batmobile was.
Yeah, a military vehicle.
Yeah.
And
so I was really happy to see it be like a just really powered up muscle car.
It's definitely something that is very obviously nodding to the comics where Batman originally only had a car, and it wasn't even a Batmobile for several years. And this is, I think that's what all he needs is he just needs something to get him from point A to point B in one piece. And as he progresses as being Batman, he realizes, hey, I could fucking use this thing as a gadget. So let me make it do more things.
Yeah. And I don't know if the two will tie in together, but some of how this Batman is using just a real world vehicle that he just, really amped up to suit his needs ties into the comic that is being written by the screenwriter from this movie, Mattson Tomlin. He's doing that Batman miniseries on Black Label right now with Andrea Sorrentino. And what makes me think it could be lining up to the movie universe is that Sorrentino really draws the Bruce Wayne in that movie to look like Pattinson.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are shots that almost look like he specifically drew him.
Is this Batman Imposter?
Yeah, the Imposter.
Okay.
And he does some other things through that book. Hopefully I'm not spoiling much. I've read the first 2 issues, but
we'll just say spoilers.
Only issue 1 is out so far, so there may be a spoiler here, but I think it's established pretty early on that the Bruce Wayne in this world has done some cool things story-wise. Like he has posed as a construction worker on construction sites, like where they're working on doing additions or repairs on buildings and things like that. So he's posed as a new worker on this construction site. So no one questioned him because there was a lot of work being done. There was a whole crew out there doing work. So he just showed up there like he was a new guy on the job, and like he was doing something that was supposed to be done. But what he was actually doing was installing hooks to make zip lines between buildings. so that later on, when he's out at night as Batman, he can use these zip lines to traverse the city.
That's genius.
And he had also done a thing where he has planted these really powerful motorcycles that he's customized. He has planted them in places throughout the city, but they've been hidden. But the GCPD has been uncovering these bikes throughout the city that were clearly not abandoned but placed there because they had full gas tanks. All of the serial numbers were filed off of everything. So this is something else that he was planting through the city to be able to get around. Sort of like in the comics, we know Batman has safe houses set up where he can stop when he needs to. So it's cool real world things, that would allow someone to more believably do Batman things in a real world, having set up the groundwork for having the ability to get places.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that kind of stuff. Something that it brings up Grant Morrison because in an interview, Grant Morrison talked about his Batman. Like, he didn't give a fuck about that stuff. Yeah. Funny enough, I like that stuff, and I think a lot of people. I like behind the scenes. So behind the scenes trailers, behind the scenes photos. It's interesting to me to see things being made. So how does Batman make his? How does he make his little drop points, and how does he make his mini bat caves throughout the city, which are alluded in a lot of the comics? But something that made me fucking always laugh is that they kept asking, or Grant Morrison hates that. He's like, I don't like the things where they focus on the little parts. Like, well, who puts the air in Batman's tires? And then I'm like, there's no fucking air in the tires. It's a comic. I always love that. Like, it's like, which is a good reason to like, why the fuck? Like, I'm not gonna think about that shit. Like, this is a story. Why are you complaining about the tires? But I thought that was fucking hilarious. Like, who puts the air in Batman's tires?
Yeah.
It's like, the fuck are you talking about?
That reminds me of another detail that we've seen in the movies that they don't touch on in the comics, and they sort of have always glossed over it in the movies. Like, we've seen Affleck do it, we've seen Keaton do it, where they get back to the cave, they pull off the cowl, and when they had the cowl on, there was obviously black around the eyes. The guy liner is there, but they pull off the cowl with, I think it was maybe with Keaton. They did like an almost seamless shot where he goes from the cowl on to he rips it off, and they did like a cut in the middle there. So when he rips the cowl off, there's no guy liner around the eyes. Like, oh, where did it go? But in this one, they just lay right into that. We see him in the cave, and he has the cowl off, and he still has the black all around the eyes.
Yeah.
Did you guys? I didn't pick up on this. Did you guys notice this little scene where he's flying squirrel in it up on top of the building?
I remember seeing shots, like behind the scenes shots of this going around online a while ago, where they had it's probably the stunt guy in the suit standing on the edge of the building there to get the establishing shots of this. And if I remember right, I think they were doing like that, that kind of movie magic thing that happens a lot that we aren't even aware of sometimes, where they shoot the scenes in daylight, but then they filter it later on and make it nighttime. But if I remember right, I think the shots that are online of this scene are, I think it was right in the middle of the day.
Yeah, and then right after this little part, he's zipping through buildings, doing his whole. I completely missed that the first couple of times.
You know what is fucking insane? Oh, and it just hit me now. That clock tower. I'm not sure if that's London or if that's made or what, but that clock tower looks exactly like the clock tower that's in the Haunted Night series and the Long Halloween, when they passed it with the airplane and when they passed it with the penguin jetpack. Looks exactly like it. So I don't know if they did that on purpose. They did say this is heavily influenced by the Long Halloween, so maybe, but yeah, that just hit me now. That's
year one as
they
well.
Filmed a lot of this in Europe.
Glasgow.
To get a lot of that older architecture.
That was such a smart move because it makes it feel different. Like, I love that it does not. Even though people say that it looks like the Dark Knight, it doesn't look like the Dark Knight because it looks so much older with the architecture that they used.
Yeah. See, Batman Begins is when he built like the Narrows, and it was more of comic book gritty city. And then the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, they filmed it in all the major cities, and it didn't look that comic. It looked too much grounded in modern reality. So
Not too real because it makes you. Oh, that's Chicago. Oh, that's New York.
yeah.
Oh, that's L.A.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I like that about this trailer or this movie is that like we are fat Americans that don't travel much, so these European cities look foreign to us, which is nice. So you don't know where it is.
I also think too, like his environment sets the tone for the type of how he's evolving too, like the fact that he has very limited technology. I feel like the trailers are giving away so much that we're gonna get hit with so many more surprises that he's gonna evolve. He's not keeping that suit throughout the movie. It's just
I
too
hope
rigid.
not. Bob, hope not.
I hope
No,
he keeps it forever. The fucking suit is beautiful. No,
I'm even convinced that the Batmobile will change too. Like he'll eventually, it'll build up to him getting more advancements.
oh shit. What do you guys think of Selena Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, she looks like Selena Kyle.
Yeah, she looks great.
There's, yeah, I mean, yeah.
A little too skinny for the Voltrum.
They didn't really show much of her.
Yeah.
The first one showed her kind of like being the cat burglar.
Yeah.
This one, she's just kind of walking around, standing around.
I like that wig she was wearing in the club or whatever with the gun.
Oh yeah, she looked great in that.
Yeah.
I think Paul Dano is going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah, me too.
I was telling you guys earlier, I love the stupid gimp Zodiac look they have for him with his fucking glasses outside of his. What a fucking incel fuck this guy is in this movie.
Yeah.
And I love that.
This
I
guy's
love
very, very unnerving Riddler. I think the Riddler should be unnerving at this point. I think the trophy missions that they had in the
Arkham
games really set Riddler up for a good evolution because he really needed to be modernized.
Right?
He was a little too dated. So that I think that really set it up for him here, where he's gonna be like this like crazy serial killer bondage looking motherfucker. So.
Yeah, he's got even his emblem that he wears on the jacket. I mean, it's a direct nod to the Zodiac, and the hood that he wears is a nod to the Zodiac. The way people described when he was wearing the hood, in Northern California.
Yeah, and also this is a reminiscent of the Heath Ledger scene in Dark Knight 2, where he was I think it was a live stream or maybe just a video he had put out, but it was the same thing, like cell phone footage of he was going to keep killing people until Batman outed himself.
Yeah, what's funny that you mentioned that is now that I think back, and it doesn't seem that long ago because it wasn't, but as far as technology goes, I don't think live streams had been invented yet.
Yeah, probably.
That's crazy to think about. Okay, and then what's this?
Yeah, the just the feel of the villain in this, that it's the villain is whoever the killer is just talked about as a serial killer, and we're just seeing these like you said, like Zodiac killer shots, and we always wanted a Batman movie that was like Seven with Batman in it, and this is really feeling pretty close to that.
We're never going to go back to a point where they Batman and Robin again, or Batman and Batman Forever again. You know what I mean? Like they're never going to kitty it down anymore. They're staying with this direction.
That'll be for the CW shows. Now, there's an image in the trailer that looks crazy as fuck. So like there's an image where he's like walking into, is it like water with like flames under it, or
no? Somebody said he's guiding citizens somewhere.
What the fuck? Oh, like out of somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There might be a blackout or a tunnel, or I also got Whisper Gang vibes from this trailer as well. I don't know. It could go in so many different directions, but yeah. That's a cool shot.
So a little more. So there's also some little clues left by Riddler. See you in hell, scribbled on something that looks like a crime scene guy's holding. And then I know we've spoken about an explosion where he fucks Batman up and throws him back, and people have said they think that his suit's going to get destroyed because of it.
But, there was a post on Reddit early in the production of the movie from an anonymous guy who claimed to be working on like set building for the movie, and he put out this information that the suit that we had seen in the pictures and everything was just the first suit that Batman had created, but he had been at the same time working on a more advanced one. And the guy's post, again, nobody knew who this guy was. He could have been full of shit, and still could be. But he did go on to say that, and this was before we had seen a trailer. This is before that first trailer from last year's Fandome. He explained that sometime early in the movie, Batman was going to be hit in an explosion, and it was going to damage the suit pretty heavily and cause him to move on to the second suit. And there we see the shot that we eventually saw in the first trailer that came out was Batman getting blown up. So it does line up, and it's possible that we do see another suit, and they're just really saving it.
And then there's a scene in the trailer where Alfred says, "My God," or something along those lines. Oh my God! So what do you think? He's looking at a screen and he's saying to himself, "There's a woman behind him." So I think either she's been killed or something's going on.
I know what that is. It's when the Donda album finally dropped. Is when he.
I think that maybe Batman's cell phone got leaked, and there's a picture of him like spreading his butt cheeks, and Riddler posts that like to every linked satellite, and God's probably what happened there in that picture. What do you guys think of? Did we already talk about? Yeah, we already talked about Alfred. And then the last shot, everyone talked about the last shot where he's chasing down Penguin. Penguin thinks he gets away from him by blowing him up, and then out of the explosion, you see the Batmobile crashing down. Somehow it doesn't break any axles, so got to give it to Alfred for his mechanic skills there. And then they give you the point of view of the Penguin looking out and seeing that shot of Batman walking out of flames upside down.
Yeah, that's a very cool shot.
Yeah, it's I like that they did perspective from the Penguin, that upside down.
And this is a shot that it cuts to that angle showing just his feet basically as he's walking towards the car, and that's a shot that they never would have given us in the '89 one, because it would have been a shot of the Bat Nikes walking towards the car. But with the way things with the way he's outfitted now, that shot works.
They later in the trailer, or like just right after this, they show like the right side up version of this image, and it looks so much like Last Night on Earth, the first cover that Capullo did, where he's walking with his cape flapping and it's kind of damaged, and it's just a silhouette of him, and it's almost the exact same cape flapping out, and it's got to be such a treat, for filmmakers to have so much reference material to sneak in, like, I'm just going to recreate the shot, because it's so many epic pieces and covers that like it just looks great. So obviously, if you put it in live action, it's going to look great.
Yeah, and there was the one scene with.
So,
yeah, what do you guys think of the theme? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's pretty hard. It's like punch you in your face kind of shit.
I think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to be a good movie overall. I think it's going to take some convincing to turn certain people over for Robert Pattinson. But I think overall, Matt Reeves can't make a bad movie.
I think it's if he does the trilogy, which he's set to, because that's how these things work. I think it'll be the best trilogy ever made. so far to date.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I feel it like with this one. And the thing about Robert Pattinson is not everyone's on board with him, but you got to remember what Jack Nicholson said back when they were doing the '89 Batman movie, and what he said to Keaton. He goes, "Look, you're not really when you play these characters, you're not really acting. The costume does the acting, you know." Because
people that really think he's the fucking vampire.
Yeah.
I think there's people in this podcast that think he's the fucking.
Because the truth is he's a weird emo looking motherfucker.
Yeah, you got to get past that, man. Holy
Okay,
shit.
and I don't know. It's going to take a lot to convince me, but I'll be open minded. But do I see him as Bruce Wayne, where Bruce Wayne's supposed to be like this grandson of Gotham that every woman wants to fall in love with? And looking at him, I was like, no, he looks like somebody that'd go hang out with Jared Leto,
Gramps still with the Jared Leto. Can't ever let it go.
He's an emo looking ass young Bruce Wayne. He really is. But I'm saying the costume does the acting, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like the costume does do the acting a lot of times. I'm realizing it's not even Robert Pattinson that I have an issue with. The costume's garbage. So wait,
hold on. What I want to know is why. What are the things that make you guys not like the bat suit?
I don't like the cowl.
The cowl and the pants.
Like the gauntlets with the
like
Star Wars.
I don't know if you noticed. He doesn't have gauntlets that come out of here, Gramps. It's just extra material that he like when you Velcro over your wrist, it's just the material that hangs off. So those 3 gauntlets, it's just material with like a leather strap at the end.
And I hate the logo.
Yeah, isn't that the 2 pieces of the pistol?
I think that's still a rumor.
Everything that Batman would have to represent him.
I think of course, if you want to play devil's advocate, you could say, "Well, that's the point. He's not a Batman yet, and that's the point." Because I guess to your point, Gramps, about you see him and you don't think he's Bruce Wayne. To play the devil's advocate, I think what they're trying to show is that he doesn't know how to play the mask of Bruce Wayne yet because he hasn't separated Bruce Wayne from Batman. So
You're assuming.
I'm not telling you, I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
Well,
so I think that this movie probably we'll see Bruce Wayne, because he says, there's that scene where he's got the eye black on and he looks over at Alfred and he goes, "I don't care what happens to me." Remember that part in the trailer? I don't care, Daddy.
Yeah, go listen to My Chemical Romance. Blah blah blah.
You've seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where like they do the sequences where it goes back and forth, and there's that one scene of that guy who's supposed to be king, but he's like a 12-year-old boy and he's got like a bowl haircut, and he goes, "Sir, your father has died. Now you will be king." "But I don't want to be king." He goes, "Sir, but you're going to have all the land." "But I don't want the land."
No, it's like in the Prince and Braveheart. Remember? You guys remember that? Oh, and the king walks in on his lover and he throws the lover out of the window and shit. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
I don't know what Teaser thought of it. I want to know what Dunk thought of it. Crickets.
Uh-oh.
I'm cold. No, I'm open to it. I didn't really mind the suit because it's a year 2 story. It's part of a trilogy, so he's building up to where he's discovering himself. So I'm open to kind of just visually seeing it build up to where it needs to be. Just seeing the cowl, how it is, it'll eventually just evolve. So I don't have gripes about it for right now.
Yeah, same. I kind of stick to like the same thing as always. Like I could watch 1,000 trailers. I don't care. I'll wait for the movie to release and see how I feel about it. I just want a good story. I want to enjoy it. I want to come out of there and be like, "Holy shit, that was dope." And then we're going to go on here and talk about it. That's all I really care about. I can't nitpick something that I don't know enough about. It's a trailer. It was what, 3 minutes long? And how long is the movie going to be? Like 2
3
hours,
hours.
some shit.
Yeah.
So it's
They're
like
saying 3 hours.
So I'm just I just want a good Batman movie.
I think
that's all I really want.
I think he's gonna get outshined as well. By like everybody. I think the rogues are really interesting. So
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an opportunity to bring in a lot more rogues that we haven't seen in any other movies. So, it still is an origin, style movie and trilogy. So
the Bat Cycle looks really good. I like the Bat Cycle. Really chic.
I was surprised.
Honestly, I was thinking the opposite. Like I was thinking.
You like the Murphy
the
cycle?
First time where he, Batman outshines the villains.
Oh yeah.
Grumps, please do tell.
Hey,
Pray tell, Grumps.
I mean, to me, like in this trailer, like this, this guy's a fucking maniac. Like he just, was brutal and raw and just like cuts his way through this trailer like a fucking buzzsaw.
Yeah.
Every time he interacts with, there was one point he's beating the shit out of somebody and Catwoman's looking at him like fucking maniac.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I got a lot of that from the whole trailer. Like this guy
That's going
walking, cutting right through this trailer and
the
movie itself.
Game time, baby.
I think as much of an issue that some of us have with the suit, I think you guys are making a lot of strong points in that, like, this suit could literally be dog shit. I still think I'm gonna love this movie though, because it just looks like it's going to be well made, and it looks like it's going to have a story that's going to be like, people are going to pit this story. Okay, well, what's a better story? Like this is going to be a good story, I think.
Yeah,
I'm happy we haven't seen the origin story.
The Riddler too.
That Riddler, man.
Oh, so you don't like the Gimp Riddler?
No, I'm saying I changed my tune. I mean, it's not, it seems like an interesting look and the whole, I don't know, like you were saying earlier, serial killer type deal that he's got going on.
They definitely wanted to do the whole Heath Ledger with the Joker thing, where they're like, the Riddler that is like silly, is Jim Carrey, is what's his name from the '66 show,
Frank Ocean.
And I think it's so easy to fall into that when you think Riddler, so they want to completely change it for you.
Yeah.
And
Riddler and Penguin, they get shafted a lot in the comics. So it's good to see them on the big screen, because they really do get shafted. They get shafted in merch and comics as well. Like there's so many fucking rogues.
Penguin always gets killed.
Penguin's always like, Penguin does it to himself though. He's such a fucking asshole, isn't he?
They're always like a joke though. Like they're like the joke every fucking comic.
He's a huge figure in Gotham, is Penguin, with the iceberg lounge.
True, yeah. He's literally, he owns like all the fucking, he owns the financing guys, he owns the fucking cops, he owns the justice
I
system.
like the mythology where the old Cobblepots and old Waynes, like, were connected in some way.
Rubbing shoulders. Yeah. Which is why I think it's so interesting that they're choosing not to do that, I think, with this movie.
Yeah, he's very street level in this movie.
Oh, take it easy, sweetheart.
Like, he's driving his own car. So I'm like, he's doing his own dirty work, so he's not there.
Well,
I fucking got you.
Desperate to get away. So whatever's happened.
I mean, clearly everyone's moving up in the ranks at the same time. They're still in their origin.
Believe them.
What were you saying, Grumps?
I believe Jesus. Like the whole year 2 thing, and I mean, I don't have any information, but just like after watching the trailer, I was like, this looks like, and what Alfred said to Bruce as well. Like this is like somebody, like, you don't realize really what you've gotten yourself into. Like now it's becoming something more.
Yeah, so, man. Like what I say,
I don't know.
You guys,
I liked it. You
guys go watch the Planet of the Apes stuff that Matt Reeves did, and tell me that this ain't gonna be like a legendary trilogy, man. This is gonna be something else, man.
the first one he did, technically it's the second one of that trilogy. The first 8 movie that he did was fucking phenomenal. Like, no joke.
It's like,
It was more gripping than like most of fucking these Academy Award movies, and they're not even human.
Yeah.
So good, man. It's because it's about family. It's like, it's not, it's something that the animal kingdom shares, is like passing on your legacy and family.
He can make a big movie, a big film, So this
Yeah.
guy's really- and
Big scope.
He got Zack Snyder's seal of approval.
Oh, that was so beautiful to see that Zaddy did that for him.
Yo,
'Cause
hey,
Zack's the
don't
man,
bring
man.
up your cults. Don't bring it up. You'll get people pissed off.
So I don't know if actually if you guys saw, but our friend Sammy Warmhands from the Bat Fan Addict podcast, the guy that used to hate mail the Bat Force and the Grumpler, now is hate mailing Sammy Warmhands and the Bat Fan Addict podcast.
Yeah.
So he just screenshotted and put up on his stories a DM
Badge
that he
of
got
honor.
from him, and it's the same thing. It's you Batcat Jew
Yeah.
dog, you Batcat this. He's calling him a Jew. He's like saying something about like Dick Lips
Brutal.
Keaton or some shit.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And then he put that in his screenshot. I'm like, bro, that's the same guy that was harassing us. It's the same guy. And he goes, oh man, I made it. So
Yeah, feel special.
yeah, so that's a good point, Gramps. It's good to see that though, because there are people out there who, just because this has not Ben Affleck and because it's not Zack Snyder, like, are out for fucking blood for Warner Brothers. Which is kind of silly, because it's like, who the fuck wouldn't want to make a Batman movie? You can't blame the director, and you can't blame any of the actors in it. And we're still getting Ben Affleck, we're still getting Keaton. So
Yeah.
And plus, people need to realize, like, we live in a different time where now there's these different outlets. WB has HBO Max to lean on, just like Marvel has Disney Plus. These are going to be brand new outlets and opportunities for more spin-offs for their own shows, and they're going to start interweaving from the show back into the movie. And I know there's talks of like a something with Catwoman, right?
Believe
that would be dope, like a origins movie or a show.
Yeah, I don't know if I heard someone say Catwoman a while ago, but
yeah, I've always wanted a
you're just gonna keep on getting more stuff, more content, quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to wait another year or two. Like, it's gonna have all these spin-offs, and it's gonna just start building, and you're gonna have more movies on rogues that you would never imagine you can get based on the success of these movies. So instead of people kind of bitching about it, you have to be open to this shit, because things are opening up with other forms of media.
Think about
I hate you, Jesus. I hate when you make me feel bad. It makes sense. You know what?
That's why I'm here.
I hope I'm wrong about this. I want it to be great.
It's gonna be
Just
great
for all those points, and also the fact that this is successful. Maybe we'll get a Man-Bat movie. Maybe
Oh my
we'll get a
God.
Deathstroke movie.
Right.
Maybe we'll get an Azrael movie. Maybe we'll get all these other things that we want to see. So yes, I hope
Or
it's successful.
or you get that show,
show, yeah. I was just daydreaming about that, Gramps. I was just daydreaming about, because you remember how Universal tried to reboot the Universal Monsters franchise, and they started with The Mummy with Tom Cruise, but it just like bombed, and they got rid of all the plans for it. But then they came out with The Invisible Man a couple of years ago, and it like fucking did so good that they're now coming back with the Universal Monsters franchise. But like, imagine they start with like Man-Bat, and then they do Clayface, and then they do fucking Ventriloquist, and they do their own DC universe like monsters, and then eventually they make like a fucking Swamp Thing movie, and they come back with fucking like a Justice League Dark movie after they do all those solos. That would be the fucking tits, bro.
Mr. Freeze.
But
That'd
it's
be
possible.
dope.
I mean, if it's done right, you know, it's
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
as long as it's done right. Like I say, quality over quantity. You know, as long as it's done right. Don't give us another Gotham. You know, I don't want another Gotham.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying,
No.
what if they did it like a gritty, like not fully horror, but more like did you see The Invisible Man? Where like it's more like suspense, jumps, and it's not like fucking gore. It's not like stupid shit like that. It's more like cerebral and psychological, and you know you don't need to go full gore or full scary with Man Bat. Like if you go more psychological with that shit, and you let the unseen do the scaring for you, it could be really good.
Yeah, what if they
That'd be great, right?
what if they killed Pattinson and then they had to bring in like Nightwing or Azrael or somebody like that to fight?
There you go. See,
Big
it
guys.
all makes sense.
Maybe that's what they need to do.
And Batman dies again.
Yeah. That's what they need to
Dude,
do.
we got 2 trailers, and Batman has broken limbs, fucking electrocuted somebody in the throat, beat somebody with a bat. Like, this is
And they're
great.
not satisfied, Grumps. They're still not satisfied. Grumps, I never thought I'd be sitting here hearing you be the voice of reason and then everybody else not like something. I never would have fucking seen that coming to my
I mean, the suit is okay. You guys have legitimate gripes. I lean with Charles, like I like it, but I understand your gripes. But
your Grumps, you
everything else
pre-ordered
I'm seeing, like,
pre-ordered the figs,
man,
right?
this Batman fucks people up. So this is great.
Grumps likes to knuckle down Batman, you know,
Yeah.
fucking knock a motherfucker out.
Gramps, I think you should probably slip into Reeve FX's DMs and then Rob Freitas as well, because they're 2 guys who were fucking in love with Affleck and the whole Frank Miller nod to the Snyder Batman, and they're the guys that love the suits and make the suits and shit, and they were fucking heartbroken when that didn't continue. But they're also 2 guys that are very excited about this new version as well, which is interesting to me. That they would be so into the Ben Affleck Batman and then also really into this one, which again, they and and they don't like the suit either. I don't think, because they're suit guys. You know what I mean? But they put everything else. They put that aside and they're able to kind of get excited about everything else. So, our buddy Lee Bormejo is also very excited about this movie. I think the chest plate for sure takes its inspiration from his Batman, and I think Gotham City takes inspiration from his Gotham City. But yeah, I think this is good. We're a mixed bag. I think there's some of us who hate either the whole thing, parts of it, and there's some of us who love every minute of it, which is good. I think that's a good place to start at. I'd rather it be that way than everyone fucking love it or everyone hate it. It's interesting. This will make for good podcasts, I think.
Yeah.
Where we all talk shit to each other about why we're wrong. But Legends, what are some parting thoughts?
I like the Penguin.
There you go. There you go. Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart.
He's like, I got you. I got you.
The more I think about this Penguin, the more I like it.
Yeah.
Dude, what if this is the role that like Colin Farrell wins an Oscar for?
Yeah, he'll go it'll be like John Travolta in Pulp Fiction, where it revitalizes his career, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy casting choice. And then the whole physical transformation. He even actually had to, I guess, go ahead and wear a suit too, because I read where he was having difficulty putting on enough weight in the time that it took them to start filming. So they went ahead and made a suit for him.
Suit.
Yeah.
Remember when set pics leaked and he had blonde hair and everyone thought he was going to be Emperor Penguin? Like sexy Emperor Penguin. That's what people were saying. Because it's true. When they first cast him as Penguin, I'm like, Colin Farrell was way too fucking sexy for Penguin, dude. How is this going to work?
I know.
Yeah, they didn't really reveal him in the fat suit from what I remembered either. So that screenshot that you just showed before,
yeah,
looked
and
way
I think
better and more convincing.
Even when set pics started popping up, there were pics of him floating around, and everyone's like, "Oh, who's that guy?" And it took a while before anyone was like, "Oh, that's fucking Colin Farrell."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know who else is in it that we didn't see anything of? Falcone, right? Falcone.
Yeah, I forget the actor's name, but yeah,
He's very, very well known actor from like
yeah,
Spike Lee used him in Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
He was in. He always plays like that very meticulous, very very careful character. He was in the Transformer franchise where he wasn't that at all. He was like the bad FBI agent. But yeah. All right, yeah, I'm excited just to see how this all comes out, and how I'm more excited to see how we as fans react to it, because it's so all over the place. I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel. Do you guys feel like most fans are looking forward to it though?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems that this went over really well with fans.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
we've
don't
been,
think they revealed too much in the trailer either.
Yeah.
In terms
I feel
of
like
story.
we've been getting all these little snippets of like what's coming out, what's coming out, what's coming out. All of this should have came out this year. And it's like, I think we're really excited because we're finally going to get the stuff that we've been waiting for and we've been hearing about for the last like 2.5 years.
They threw a ton of shit at us in one weekend.
Fucking 4 hours.
And we didn't even talk about the new animated series.
Oh, fuck. You know what? Maybe who can make it? Who's going to be able to, well, I don't want to bury the lead, but maybe we can put that at the end of the next episode, because that is a good point, and that is going to be a fucking amazing looking series.
Yeah.
The question,
Batman the Cape Crusader.
the question that I have too is, we started off talking about Comic-Con, we talked about fandom. Is DC's days in Comic-Con over? Is this going to be our new norm? I feel like they're gonna be pushing out of that whole Comic-Con scene and just be doing these
continue the fandom.
Well,
yeah, because it's on their terms. It doesn't cost them that much money, and they get to kind of bring be direct with these fans.
yeah, if
I don't see them as in cons as much anymore.
Yeah,
it's
but
a good point.
yes, I could see them wanting to do that, but at the same time, I mean, you can make a lot of money and build a lot of brand loyalty by pressing the flesh. You know what I mean? You have to have a physical preference to be in front of someone. It's just like a political, candidate going out on campaign. You can spend all the money and time on TV and radio ads, but people are really going to, attach themselves to you when they meet you and they see you and they feel like, oh yeah, this is someone I can relate to. So I think, the DC Fandome, it's an awesome thing and it's kind of a necessary thing right now. It's the safest thing to do, especially in the pandemic, but eventually I think they're going to get back to being a strong presence, especially at New York Comic-Con.
Yeah, I think
and San Diego.
Because of the pandemic, it's like they haven't really released anything. So it's like normally they always have like, oh, check out these costumes from these movies we released. And, people just go there and take pictures and see that stuff. And since we haven't had much of that, besides I think it was just Suicide Squad. That's about it. It's like it wasn't worth the effort of going there when even your competitors didn't show up.
Yeah,
it's been trending that way, I think. Like Marvel wasn't at they didn't have a big booth the year before, or 2019.
Yeah.
And the DC section is just some suits and they give away, buttons or, whatever.
Make you sign up for a credit card.
Yeah.
They at San Diego the last year they did it, which was what? Oh my God, 2019? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
The biggest show that they do, they took it. They used to have a DC booth, and then they took that and they cut it down to maybe a fourth of the size, and they just wedged it out as an end cap to the Warner Brothers booth. So they did have somewhat of a physical presence, but it was literally just the fucking back corner of the Warner Brothers booth, and they had all the signings at the Warner Brothers table instead. And I think that was just to save money, and that was right around the time they were cutting everybody's jobs, right before they cut everybody's job. and then the pandemic hit, and that just fucked it all up. So yeah, I think it will at some point when the things kick back in, they'll come back to showing presence. But yeah, you guys are. I think it's a little bit of everything. It's going to be a smaller footprint than it maybe was, and they're going to. I mean, Fandome is it's successful. I mean, it was a very cheap way of getting it into as many people's homes and on their eyeballs as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a virtual panel. You know, it's like instead of you waiting at a con for a couple hours, you're getting that from home, and
they got a lot of information. Like I watched the whole thing from start to finish, and I was annoyed. Obviously, I want to see the Batman, but I'm sitting there watching these things that I wouldn't normally watch and whatever, and getting all this information and discovering like there's a lot of characters in live action. You know, whether you like those shows or not, you know, they're not for everybody, but a lot of people do like. You know, there's Hawkman and Dr. Fate and Black Adam movie. There's Justice Society characters and the was it Star Spangled Girl, or I forget what, you know, TV show, and then there's
Star something.
Stargirl.
But they have a lot of, you know, there's Legends of Tomorrow, and they have there's a lot of DC Universe characters in live action now, so it's pretty cool.
All right, well, that was I mean, you guys are right. We did not even touch on. They did a little Blue Beetle panel. They did a little Batgirl panel.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch on those things. They showed some Batgirl concept art. They showed you who Batgirl is going to be. They showed you the directors. Joss Whedon is slain. The dragon is dead. Batgirl stripped from his hands, never to be given back ever again. And yeah, all right. But I mean, we'll get into some of that other stuff as it comes out. But I mean, that was we gave you almost an hour and 40 minutes worth of content. So I know we've haven't been putting out much, but that's hopefully going to change. We got this is a big month because we got at least one other interview coming out, and then we wanted to talk about the animated Long Halloween, the 2-parter. So we'll do that as well before Halloween is over. So you got some more stuff coming your way. But yeah, guys, excellent episode. Thanks to all the listeners. Subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mothers, and we'll catch you guys in the flip, right?
Right.
All right. Take it easy.